All right, welcome on all to the Raven Gaming Channel. Joining me today, as always, is my confidant, what's that word they use in the mafia for their lawyer?
Consigliere.
Consigliere. Yeah, my consigliere. Never take legal counsel from him. He's terrible at that. But yeah, so I'm Gilbert Gray, joined as always by King Costi. This is where you say hello.
Shoot below the hip.
Shoot below the hip.
Yes.
Are you telling people to shoot people in the?
Welcome to Raven Gaming YouTube channel.
Depends on how big the dick is, I suppose. It might not be under the hip. Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us, guys. We're here to talk about the Xbox Showcase. Now, we have done a video on the Summer Games Fest, so if you want to check that out, we'll put a link somewhere in the description. Costi, you're the magic man who does all this stuff for YouTube. Make it happen. But but yeah, go check that out if you want to hear our thoughts on that. But this is going to be about our thoughts on the Xbox Showcase. Okay, so I don't know about you. I enjoyed this. Some amazing games showed. A lot of stuff I'd never heard about, which is unusual in the game world. Obviously, if you guys are, you're always perusing YouTube, same to myself. A lot of these things would usually have been announced already, or at least to be like kind of inklings that they're going to be happening. I think there was an inkling around the Star Wars game, and we'll go into that a bit further. Started off with Fable. Nothing really. There was no gameplay there, right? That was pure CGI.
Yeah.
Richard Ayoade playing a giant called Dave. Very humorous, interesting guy. South of Midnight, again, another cutscene. Looked quite interesting. Then we had Payday 3, which looked ropey as fuck, by the way. I love Payday, but I don't know about you, but that looked really terrible. Avowed, we've been hearing a lot about Avowed. I don't really feel like we got anything new from it.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like a bit of gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they're kind of holding their cards close to their chest on what the game truly is going to be, but it's more just showing the gameplay. Some updates for Sea of Thieves, which was quite cool. It was nice to see the Legends of Monkey Island kind of expansion on that. Was quite cool. New Flight Simulator coming out next year with Dune DLC. Nice. Another Like a Dragon game, which I feel like they've dropped the Yakuza from that, and they've just become a no franchise. Because remember, it used to be Yakuza Like a Dragon, now it's just Like a Dragon. So that's interesting. Not really caring about Fallout 76, but really and truthfully, you have to admit, there was a lot in this. It was a stacked show. But definitely I have my highlights. What would you say yours were?
Highlights for the show, just there were a couple that stood out for me. There's a couple of things just housekeeping wanted to pick up. They mentioned a Persona 3 Reload, and then there was also, I think, a Persona 5 Tactica, which I think were really good announcements for Xbox, just because I know the Persona games have been on PlayStation for a while and people have been asking for them to be on Xbox, so that's really good. Overall, I thought it was really good. Even the stuff where we only got trailers, I feel like that's reminiscent to sometimes, like I remember PlayStation did their showcase, I think a year or two ago, and they showed a lot of games where it was just literally trailers, but it builds the hype in the future, and it lets you know that something else is coming, which I think is what gamers want. For me, my personal highlights from this, there were two. There was Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. Obviously, love anything with a samurai sword, and guess what? This game has got samurai swords in it.
Too.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's made by Konami, kind of reminiscent. I don't know if you remember, there was a game called Genji, which was the one they made after Onimusha. It kind of reminded me of that. Obviously, looked like there was some sort of cyborg characteristic with the character. Maybe I'm just seeing things there, but either way, looked really cool. Available day one on Game Pass. Next game I saw that I thought looked really good was 33 Immortals, which is also day one Game Pass 2024. Now this reminded me of Hades. I say that about any game that's kind of like that, top-down isometric. It could remind you of Death's Door if you wanted, but it looked very interesting. You can do raids up to 33 players co-op playing together doing raids. Some of the bosses and the enemies I saw in the levels looked really, really cool. I think it's really good that something like this is coming to Xbox. Like I can imagine us playing this, interested to see what the builds will be like. It looks like you had swords, axe, as well as arrows. I don't know if magic is in this. I'm assuming it will. If they're immortal, how can you be immortal without magic? They go hand in hand.
Science.
It just wouldn't make sense otherwise.
Science.
Really nice looking game. Overall, I thought really good conference. I think announcing a lot of games. It's just really good. Yeah, I mean, even Hellblade 2 coming out, that looked really good. Obviously, once again, Ninja Theory, going to be day one Game Pass, and that's really good because like the first Hellblade was originally a PlayStation exclusive, I think, for like a year. Then it slowly made its way over to Xbox, and now, you know, the second one, I believe this is an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, because I think Ninja Theory is owned by Xbox now.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is actually an exclusive for them, and this game looks amazing. And hopefully the fact that it has been a good couple of years between this one and the last one, it's just going to be even better than what we saw last time.
Agreed, man. I felt like this conference was just back to back, man. It was just literally game after game, and all I kept hearing was world exclusive. I was thinking, fucking hell, man, this is getting crazy.
Yeah.
And it was literally just stuff coming everywhere, everything all at once, and I loved it. Was very impressed with Star Wars Outlaws. I think if you've been consuming Star Wars media, as you know, like I'm a big Star Wars guy. I love Star Wars, and I've been consuming a lot of Star Wars media lately, and there's a lot of good Star Wars media coming around that's not Jedi's. And I think that is, at the moment, that's coming really strong around. Like the storytelling they have, which doesn't involve space wizards, is actually pretty decent. They had Andor out recently. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's very much a spy thriller around the start of the rebellion and, you know, kind of going against the Empire and the risks that come with that. This looks like you playing as, I think, like a bounty hunter in the underworld. It gives me kind of the 1313 vibes of what was meant to be like kind of this gritty underbelly of the galaxy, the stuff you don't normally see, the stuff that's not polished, the stuff the Empire doesn't want people to know about, you know, and stuff that's kind of touched on in Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, those kind of things. And I'm happy to see a story set there. You know, the real people within the Empire, not the fucking space wizards fighting, or not even the rebels. You know, just real people trying to live their lives in the nitty gritty underworld and kind of seeing where they live, what they do, the shit they get up to. I think that's gonna be great. A few other standouts. One that really kind of, I don't know why, but it really jumped out at me was a game called Dungeons of Hinterberg. There's a program on, I think it's on Netflix, called Hilda. And it's a cartoon about a girl that lives in a kind of fantastical world and she lives with her mum. It gave me that kind of vibe. It has this kind of wholesome looking aesthetic, but with, like, you know, action RPG combat and that kind of visceral feel around that, going and doing dungeons and fighting monsters and stuff. So it had this weird kind of juxtaposition, and it just, I don't know why, but it just jumped out at me and I was like, wow, actually looks pretty cool. I'd love to play it. I think when it comes out I definitely will give it a shot, just to see what it's like. And I like these kind of small games that come out of nowhere, the ones that aren't big flashy, you know, balls to the wall adventures and fucking you're shooting non-stop, you're doing all this crazy shit. I like to see games which are a bit more a bit smaller, a bit more original, doing a bit more with themselves, and I think that's one to look out for. And then for me, I mean, this might be a bit controversial. I think we've covered it a few times on the channel, to be fair. So if people listening are return listeners, welcome back, and you're probably used to this, and if you're not, get used to my hot take. But I like Cyberpunk 2077, and I think the expansion looks like it's going to be pretty good. You got this what's called Dogtown, right? You go to Dogtown. It seems like a very out there story in the world of Cyberpunk, right? When you play the original Cyberpunk, the story's it's not grounded, obviously, but it seems quite real to the nature of the game. You know, you're like a mercenary, you do these odd jobs, and you kind of get built up with a corporation, and you get kind of entangled with them in a way you didn't really want to. Now you're going and saving the fucking president. That was a bit of an left field thing for me. When they said that, I was a bit. I was like, okay, fine. Saving the president of America, who just happens to be in this rundown place called Dogtown of all fucking things, and you're teaming up with Idris Elba.
Nice.
I mean, yeah. What more can you say? I'm looking forward to it. I think if they are going to put the same amount of effort into this as they did with The Witcher and its expansions, this is going to be good. And I think the recent, recently they needed to bring stuff up. They needed to have this be perfect for them to win back that player base. So I'm looking forward to seeing the amount of work they put in, because it's going to be fucking massive. And I think, there's a lot more we could do in Cyberpunk. So I think that having more space to do things and a bit more interesting characters to meet and things to do, I'm all for it. Maybe I'm in the minority, but that's what I think. But yeah, and also I don't know about you, but it did seem like Keanu Reeves wasn't Keanu Reeves. Did that make sense? Like, I don't know if it's just me, guys. If you agree with me, mention it in the comments, because it seemed like it was like an AI doing the job for him. Like it was a construct of Keanu Reeves. Like it didn't seem like a real human being. It's really strange.
Well, when is Keanu Reeves really Keanu Reeves? That's the question.
They were trying very hard to win that kind of capture that lightning in the bottle. Do you know when he first came out, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. That kind of like they're trying to recapture that, and it just didn't work. It was like. It was a bit awkward, a bit stinted. He's like, oh, I got to team up with Idris Elba as a super spy. It's like, okay, cool, man. I was looking forward to shooting people with my big gun and my robot arms with Luther, who also has robot arms, because obviously
everyone has robot arms.
Everyone's got robot arms.
It's a good reason to go back. That's what I think. I haven't played it since it originally came out, and obviously it was glitched as fuck then, but I still enjoyed it. So I think it's been really good, because once this does come out, I think it'd be good to play through it all again. Like, I don't remember the story well enough to the point where playing it again would be a tedious task, and then going into the new expansion would be really good.
Yeah. No, I think that would be good for me to get. I'd like to jump back in. I don't know if we want to discuss it in this video, to be fair, but obviously they announced Starfield. Now, let me get your opinion on this. I feel like the one misstep in this whole thing, right? They obviously rattled off all these games. It was quite quick. But for some reason, they felt the need to do a trailer for Starfield. And it was like, world premiere trailer for Starfield. I mean, we don't need a trailer for Starfield. You literally are doing a Starfield Direct after this video. You're doing a whole showcase on the thing. We know it's coming. Why would you need to do a trailer halfway through this? Why waste the time?
That is a very good question. I don't know. I just felt like maybe they were just throwing something in there. Like, I know it's meant to be a story trailer, so maybe they were doing that so it kind of got people intrigued in the story. And then when they did the actual direct, where they did a lot more of a deep dive into the gameplay, I don't know. Maybe it was just a warmer, an amuse-bouche, as you would say.
Amuse-bouche.
An amuse-bouche.
It could be even the case of Xbox created that list of things without even knowing they were going to do a Starfield Direct. Depends on when these things get a sort, right? You could set all these things months in advance. I might not even have known that was going to be a thing, and then we'll just at the end, we're like, fuck. We're meant to take that out. Who cares?
Yeah, I could understand that.
Yeah, probably a peek behind the curtain. But yeah. What's your thoughts on Starfield? I mean, obviously we could do a whole video on Starfield now. They've done an entire direct on the fucking thing. But what are you thinking?
I don't know, and it's not a pessimistic take. It's one of those things where, realistically, when I look at it, I don't want it to be Fallout in space. To be honest with you, like the gameplay they were showing in like your spaceship when you're doing like the battles in space, that looked really cool. I thought that was really good. Even the planets, the graphics, everything looked really good, and I hope this game is going to be good. I hope it lives up to the hype. That's the one thing I want to say. It's not a matter of thinking it won't. It's just one of those things where I think they've put themselves in a position now, especially Microsoft and Bethesda, because of the games that they have put out since the deal went through. They need to have something that's going to be a home run, and I feel like it's going to be this game. Everything I saw looked really good. everything they explain, the quests, the skills, the branching storylines. It's everything you want in an RPG and a new IP. And yeah, to be fair, I was impressed by everything I saw, and really looking forward to it. Like I've been a fan of Bethesda for a long time. It's just one of those things where they've brought out so many different ports of Skyrim at this point, and they nosedived Fallout for a minute there, and it was just kind of like a worry that this might just look like a shell of those with a different coat of paint, but luckily enough it doesn't necessarily look like that, which is really good to see.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think we can go into massive depths on it in another video, but I think it'll be good. I mean, it's going to come out, it'll be a buggy fucking mess, and then it'll be fine after a few patches, and it'll be great. So it's Bethesda, right?
It wouldn't be a Bethesda game if not. I mean, we're expecting that.
If it releases with no bugs, I'd be actually upset. I'd probably be like fucking sending them tweets being like, "Excuse me, I played your game and nothing went wrong. How dare you? What do you think this is? This is 2023 for fuck." But obviously, it's Games Pass. We can get it on day one, so we've got the opportunity to play it straight off. We don't have to worry about anything else. So
definitely,
I'll get it. I'll play it. Whether it's going to engross me like every other kind of RPG game, we'll just have to wait and see. But here's hoping. I'm positive about it. So yeah, I mean, that was the Xbox Games Showcase. I think it was a success. Way better than the Summer Games Fest. I don't know about you. And even, I think, better than probably than the State of Play. I think there was more to it. There's a bit more push, more punch. Was hoping for a Jet Set Radio reveal, as we were discussing last week, community, because we saw it on that leak, and I was hoping it would come as like a stealth drop like Hi-Fi Rush did, but no. But overall, yeah, I can't really fault it, right?
All around, I think there was a lot of individually good things that were announced, and that's the great thing. I think Xbox, with their showcase, did something they haven't done in a while, which they had like a very concentrated list of games, and they all stood out in there for their own right, and that was great. I would say that they definitely had the best conference over the last couple of weeks that we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. And on that bombshell from the PlayStation guy. Also, the announcement of a black Xbox Series S.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Really nice. SSD. But it looked lovely. Also, kind of makes me feel like I think they're eventually going to make out so that the Xbox Series X will be the same size. So I think what they're trying to do is work towards having a package which is in that shape, that small size.
Okay.
With everything. So I think this is their next step. So it's like 1 terabyte, and there's no, it's got the same graphics card, blah, 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 and then I think that's what they're working towards. But let's wait and see, shall we? But anyway, that was the Xbox showcase. Thank you very much for coming and joining us, hearing our views, our opinions. Drop yours in the comments below. Let us know what you think. We want to know if you have a different opinion to us. If you hated it, if you thought it was shit, let us know. If you're a PlayStation fanboy and you think it's rubbish, you want to throw eggs at us, fine, go right ahead. We're on the internet. Can't reach us.
Don't throw them. I am one of you in disguise.
Yeah, throw them at him because he's a traitor.
Traitor? I've always been PlayStation.
Throwing up the PSs like gang signs. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. I've been Gritty Gray. This is King Costi, the PlayStation fanboy. Give us a follow.
Love you all.
Like this video. Come and be a part of the family. Come be a part of the conversation. And yeah, we'll see you next time.